we are receiving the salvation of our souls. We are receiving the perfecting of our faith. Gold has to be refined. In these passages that we're looking at today, compare us to gold, or at least possessing gold, but it is not refined. The gold has to be pressured and heated to become good. It all said and proven so that those around us can see God at work in our lives. I can testify to this very clearly through the things that I've been through. There are people's lives who have been and are being changed because they see what I go through. I think I told you this once already, but I didn't even know her name, and I'm sorry that I didn't. But she works at my GP's office, and she's the one that weighs you, checks you in, and puts you in a little room. Or maybe the time before that, she said, I just want to thank you very much for your example for me. I said, what do you mean? She said, you're an inspiration because all the stuff that you've been through, you do not get down. Well, I do get down, but she didn't know that. You do not get down, and you pay attention to other people and not just yourself. That I hope I do. But she saw a difference in me that she would not have seen if I hadn't been going through what I was going through. There, I could tell story after story after story of this. I won't, because we don't have that much time. But it's true in your life too. People see how you handle misfortune. They see how you handle struggle and stress and obstacles. And when you handle them with faith and the eternal hope that God gives us, then they see. When my parents built a home on a vacant lot in Colorado back in the 60s, my uncle, who was a pastor and an architect, he designed and built over 110 churches in his life. He designed a home for them, and he came out for a month to help us build it. They had it all under roof within a month. The man across the street named Usnick started coming over to see what was going on when he came home from work. And he went back and told his wife that there's something strange going on there. It's just strange. And she said, what is it? I don't know. Kept going back. I don't know. Kept going back. Finally, he asked, and he found out that nearly everybody working on a job was a Christian. And he had just seen a difference in the way they related to each other and the way they did their work. He and his family, well, I don't know, he may be gone now because he's probably 15 years older than me. But he and his family started coming to church, gave their lives to God, were baptized, and then his wife's mother was saved, and then two of his siblings. So just being there, as St. Francis said, preach the gospel at all times. When necessary, use words. Our very lives should be different because Christ is in them. And facing pain and struggle is one of the ways that we show his power in us. As Paul said in another place, his strength is made perfect in our weakness. He also said, when I'm weak, then I'm strong. Because we do not have to be weak. Even our mind may become frail, but our faith can carry us forward and will carry us forward. Because what we are looking for is also been mentioned here. We're looking for what is imperishable, what is eternal, what is forever with Christ. That is where we're going. That's where we're headed. It is a blessed hope that was hidden from the ages. Christ in you, the hope of glory. We won't look at it. I'll just mention it, the passage in Hebrews where it says Jesus learned obedience through what he suffered, and having been made perfect, even his goal needed to be refined, apparently. And in the 12th chapter, we are to run with perseverance a race set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, suffering and shame. Consider him who suffered so much from sinners and yet did not lose heart, so that you may not lose heart. Jesus suffered and conquered. We can suffer and conquer. And we get to the joy set before him. That's what I want to. When we go through struggles, we get a joy from God, a peace from God that you do not get at other times. After every mountaintop, there's a valley experience coming. You can count on it. But also after the valley experience, if we remain faithful, there will be another mountaintop experience, usually higher than the one we just had. Dottie Rambo wrote the song. I don't know the name of it, but she said, I want to go higher with thee, but the Lord knows there's strength in my sorrow. And he picked out a valley for me. In the valley, he restoreth my soul. He leadeth me beside the waters. It's in the valleys of our lives that Christ meets us most clearly. It's in this pain and struggles where we find his grace most sufficient. Some of us do not know that. Some of us think that God has abandoned us when we have trouble and struggle. God never abandons us. We abandon him, but he does not abandon us. In our struggle, he will be there if we have faith and trust him. I say often to people, just trust Jesus. It's really that simple. Trust Jesus. The light that came into the world 2,000 years ago, just written about in the first chapter of the Gospel of John. That light is still, that light still shines in the darkness. and the darkness will not, cannot ever overcome it. And God is leading us with that light. That light is in every one of us, transforming us, sustaining us, and leading us forward. I'm going to at least do 2 more sermons on this subject in the next 2 weeks, looking at Colossians in depth at the Hebrews passages. But for now, I want you to know God does not abandon you in your struggles. In fact, it is where he meets us most strongly. If you remember, many, many years ago, the North Koreans captured the ship, the Pueblo. And the captain of the Pueblo was kept for more than 10 years in solitary confinement. When he was asked by a reporter what went through his mind when he first learned he was going to be released. He said, it scared me because I thought maybe God might never. Again, it was just him and God for more than 10 years. And he was afraid that God might never be that close to him again. When we go through the struggles, God is there, and he will be there. You can count on it. You can bet on it even, although you probably shouldn't, but he'll be there. If he's not, it's because we aren't open to him in the way he needs us to be. It does say in James, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Jesus also said of his hometown, he said, I cannot do as many miracles there because of their unbelief. We have to have faith, but if we have faith, God is faithful. Pain can be the beginning of our witness to other people, and how we deal with it can be very pleasing to God. Amen.